This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is entitled A Lonely Thread. It was written by B.W. Holland and James Coquillat, and it's included in No Time to Scream. It can be purchased from Chaosium. Sawyer Hill is our keeper of arcane lore, and this is a one-shot. Just a general reminder that we rely on your contributions to help pay for production costs. If you're willing to send us a few dollars a month, it really helps. Check out our Patreon. You can use the QR code or the link in the description. Thanks for considering this. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Sawyer?
Thank you, Thom. So we'll open up in a forest north of Arkham, about an hour north of Arkham. It is late September. You all have been invited to Professor Joshua Thomas's cabin. He is a retired Miskatonic University professor who professor of archaeology and the occult. As you sort of drive up the lonely road to his cabin, I would like to give each of you the opportunity to introduce yourself and sort of explain however much you want to why you are going to meet Professor Thomas.
I'll go first. I'm Dr. Holton Paris. I'm a biologist at the university, but I've got a lot of, I do a lot of engineering. I've been extremely interested in, the archaeology of old technologies, and I've read Joshua Thomas's book, and I really enjoyed it. And this will be the first time meeting him, and I'm very excited.
I'm Timothy Stone. I am an antiques dealer with a shop in downtown Arkham. I've known Professor Stone casually for a number of years. He has assisted me in authenticating a number of objects and identifying some things that I didn't know what to make of. And we maintain a lively correspondence and visit each other when the opportunity presents itself.
Sidney Orn, my relationship to Joshua is that he was a friend of my father's who used to come over and bring in sort of odd objects to art that my dad would like and sometimes buy off of him, and they'd occasionally get drunk together. But also I have a very fond memory of him because he used to tell me stories of his adventures overseas when I was younger, and I used to be fascinated by the stuff. So I sort of see him as a second grandpa. I rather like the old guy. Hopefully he doesn't perish in this scenario.
I am Levi Abelman. I am a professional chess player. I travel the world to all sorts of chess tournaments. I'm particularly fond of whenever I get to go to the World Chess Championship. Well accomplished in my field, but this Professor Joshua Thomas, we met at the Arkham Chess Club, and for some reason I can never seem to beat him, which frustrates me to no end. He has no aspirations for professional chess, and yet he is quite a skillful player. So I'm coming on this trip with the hopes that this time I will finally best him, and then I could put my worries about my own skills to rest.
Name's Jackson King. leader of the Miskatonic University basketball team. Quite handsome looking fellow, pretty good in the sports field to the detriment of his academic studies. I am indebted to Mr. Thomas because he helped me with my studies, and here I am again trying to reach him out to help me another time with my failed assignments.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So we'll say Sydney and Timothy, maybe you've known Professor Thomas enough to have previously been to his cabin. You know, it's a quite spacious two-story building with a sort of workshop out back. And it acts more as a separate home to kind of get away from the Miskatonic life rather than just, you know, a vacation cabin. But you all kind of drive up to the front of the cabin. There are two cars already parked out front, what looks like a Ford Model T and a Chevrolet Series FB. And the cabin itself is made of pine logs, 2 stories, as I said previously, and it sits kind of on top of a hill in the forest overlooking a small river. But as you all get out of the cars, you all can congregate and meet each other.
What time did you say that it was?
It's about 6 p.m.
Well, lovely place. Look at the forest, how peaceful.
Certainly picturesque, but I prefer cities myself.
Yeah, it's different noise at night coming from your window. Get used to the cars and the people noise. Here it's going to be all frogs and crickets.
Oh, if we're lucky, we're going to get a fire going out back and get some storytelling going. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that.
We're a little old for that, but okay.
No, I'm not. Oh, I am not, sir. I am not. Nothing that a good raconteur cannot not do well for the what
Some
ails you.
marshmallows and
Yes. Feels good to roll it back a bit.
Well, you want someone to tuck you in when we're settled
I
who
down.
won't-
pays
I
for
won't
somebody to tuck him
I
in?
do have someone to tuck me in at home. I'm roughing it a bit. I've even told the chauffeur he can have the weekend off.
Oh, well, how generous of you.
Yes, well, I am actually.
Well, let's go knock.
All right. Pip pip and all that.
Yep. You walk up to the front porch and knock on the door. It takes a few moments, but you hear someone approach the door. It sounds like it's footsteps, but also the tapping of a cane. And the door kind of half opens, and peering out is a older man. He is wearing a red velvet smoking jacket, white dress shirt underneath, and he has a graying hair and beard. And he peers out and looks at all of you and says, hello.
Is it him?
Oh, hi.
Yes, it is Professor Thomas.
Okay. Well, I get wide-eyed and go, Joshua, old man, come on out.
He opens the door more and says, welcome. I
Oh, you're not getting away without a hug, you old fool.
He steps back and says, I'm sorry, not right now. It's
Aw.
old age makes it
All right.
difficult.
Mm.
And he sort of opens up the door, but there's no like gesturing of welcome you inside. He just goes inside and the door is sort of wide open for you.
Mm. Does he seem more sickly than when I last saw him?
Mm.
Do you have any medical skills?
I do not.
Yeah, I'll say yes. He maybe seems a bit more tired, a bit more sort of out of focus.
Mm.
But yeah, he sort of steps inside, and you can see ahead of you is a large living room. Behind that is a kitchen. On your left is stairs going up, and seemingly behind the stairs is a sort of secondary hallway towards what looks like more rooms. But yes, what are you all doing right now?
I come in and I take his hand. I'm very glad to meet you. Thank you for inviting me. I've read your book on your excavations. Fascinating work. Thank you so much for having me.
He's shaking your hand. It's a bit loose, but he says, "Thank you. Remind me which book that was again, which expedition."
Um, let's say the one to Egypt, where you were talking about the various possible ways in which they constructed the pyramids and the
Ah,
tombs. I've got an engineering degree as well, so I find that all fascinating. Um, Also, the interesting things you said about you say they presented in the hieroglyphics. Is it like it was some sort of magic they used? But
of magic.
technology always
Yes,
seems
yes,
like, yeah.
yes. The technology can seem like magic sometimes. And your name was again?
Oh, I'm Dr. Holton Paris.
That,
I
that. And he's still kind of shaking your hand, and then he
Yeah,
kind of looks down at it and takes it away. But
I
and
realize I'm holding it too long.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Paris, how was your journey to the
I like the woods. It's nice out here. I function mostly as a biologist. Um, but yeah, I'm getting like a schoolgirl right now. I'm very glad to meet you.
Yeah.
I hope
And
we have some interesting conversations.
he kind of just, finishes shaking your hands. He's half listening to you, and he kind of just looks away and goes over to the armchair. And looking around the living room, any of you are welcome to make a spot hidden.
Ooh, I got a hard success.
I got an 04.
Regular success.
I'm too busy looking at it.
So, with the regular successes and hard success, looking around, you can see the cabin itself is kind of half cleaned. There is no wood sort of ready next to the fireplace, and in the fireplace is still just the remnants of ash. Uh, you can kind of peer into the kitchen, and it's also not very well maintained. It seems that he hasn't bothered to make any preparations for any of you. With the O4, Levi, you find a very expensive and very old chess set. It looks like it was made from India.
Oh, this is quite the rather impressive set of chessmen, Joshua.
He looks over to it and says, "Yes, I bought that uh, in Germany a few years back."
Oh, how delightful. We'll have to play a game or two.
And he, yeah, again, kind of looks at it and says, yes, you'll have to show me how to play it." And yeah, he sort of pulls out a pipe and kind of starts fidgeting with it, starts trying to sort of put tobacco in it. And while
Teach you how to
that's,
play.
oh, yes, I just have it there for show.
Hmm. So it looks as though somebody's gotten here ahead of us. Is there anybody else about?
No, it's just me. I'm sorry.
Oh, the two vehicles out front. I assumed that somebody had come ahead of us.
And he kind of looks over to the window and says, "Oh, one's mine and one's a spare."
I see. Well,
Fair.
I know it gets dark earlier here in the woods. Shall I start a fire? Or, I mean, I'm sure we can be of some use around the place.
And he looks around and says, Yes, that would be helpful. t- t- Perhaps one of you can go in the kitchen and grab something for sustenance.
Oh,
And
I got it. I'll
oh,
cook.
okay. Here, I'll make us all tea if that's okay. You just
and while you're all doing that, Jackson, what are you doing at this moment?
Um, I will offer to help bring some wood from the shack or something if he stores it for the fireplace. I want to make myself useful, bring the youth and the physical prowess into helping whatever everyone needs, carry stuff, try to make myself useful.
Yes, King. I'll get the fire, the kindling and things. If you can bring in an armload of wood or two, very handy.
Sure thing, Mr. Stone.
And so, Dr. Paris and Sydney, you start with preparations for the food. Levi, remind me what you were doing.
I I'm a little confused. I mean, the fact that Professor Thomas is professing that he no longer knows how to play chess, this is I don't know, this is quite shocking. So I'm trying to see if there's somebody else who isn't busy. Is Timothy, are you up to anything? I know some others are helping to cook.
I'm
Oh,
uh,
you're
I'm just going to tear up some paper here and clear a little bit of ash to make ready for building a fire.
yeah, yeah, let me help you. Um, I'll lean in as we're cleaning out the fireplace. Does Joshua seem okay to you?
And I'll say he does seem a little bit frail and uncertain. I don't remember him having two vehicles either, but
Yeah,
no.
something, I don't know. Old man doesn't seem quite right.
Yeah.
No, it seems like he forgot that we were invited too. But maybe, a little sociability, he'll warm up and be more himself.
Certainly hope so. I hope this isn't some kind of memory disorder. I would hate to see the old man go that way, the people who start to forget everything and everyone.
Well, heavens no, yes, that would be uh, a tragic end for a great mind like that. Let's assume it's something more momentary.
While you're kind of talking, Professor Thomas does step over to what looks like a liquor cabinet and sets out a number of glasses, six of them to be exact. And he starts generously pouring bourbon into these glasses. I mean, it's like nearly up to the top on each one, and on the final one, it's overflowing. But while he does that, Jackson, you step outside to gather the wood, and there is a sort of pile behind the house. What looks like he did at some point must have gathered it in preparation, but there's just a mound of it sort of behind the cabin, kind of between the cabin and the workshop.
Yeah, I'm going to generously grab some of the lot. Are they prepared, or should I use a hatchet to split them?
Um, yeah, they're mostly prepared. There
Okay.
is a hatchet sort of sitting next to them. It's
Mhm.
like he did this maybe yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I will grab a few and swiftly return in the home.
And Dr. Paris and Sydney, as you're sort of in the kitchen making these preparations, you notice sort of throughout the kitchen that there is a good amount of food that has been sort of not prepared but stored there. It seems that
Somebody brought
um,
food out. Yeah, somebody
yeah.
brought him groceries and stuff. Well,
but
that's good.
this does seem like enough to be for guests as well.
Okay.
And I don't
Yes.
want to use up all of his food if he's
No, of
staying
course
out
not.
here. But yeah, I'll make something. I don't know, nice
Well,
spaghetti. I don't
we
know.
should make the finger snacks, or oh no, you want to make spaghetti? Okay.
Well, we're staying here overnight, aren't we?
Oh right,
Yeah.
yes, fair enough.
We're not making dinner. It's dinner time.
Mm-hmm. And as you
We'll
sort
make
of make,
us-
yeah, the like making the spaghetti, the house is filled with the aroma of, I guess, spaghetti. Um,
puttanesca. Yeah.
but Professor Thomas now he's sort of holding these bourbon glasses, and he passes one to each of you, Timothy and Levi.
Oh, well, thank you. Quite the generous pour you have.
And he looks down at it and says, "Yes, I like to be generous to my guests."
Yes, well, to your health.
Cheers.
And he downs it.
I give Levi a meaningful glance.
And
Yeah,
he,
I will take a cautious sip as he's drinking this whole glass of bourbon.
it's good bourbon. It's on his professor's salary, or I guess pension. Uh, yeah, he can somehow afford this. So
Well, I mean, having it smuggled down from Canada, at least, he picks the good stuff. Um,
and sort of with a kind of wobble, he steps over to the kitchen and sets down two more glasses for you, Dr. Paris and Sydney.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.
You're welcome. It was a generous pour.
Oh, yes. Well, I remember when you and Dad used to tie one on occasionally, so I know you've got it in you to put it away. To your good health, sir.
Yeah. And he kind of goes over next to you, Dr. Paris, and looks in the pot of spaghetti.
Oh, yeah, we're making a nice puttanesca with pasta, the pasta you had here. Uh, is there anything in particular you like?
And he kind of looks over at you and says, the pasta.
Yeah.
I like pasta.
Yes, why don't you go have a seat in your living room, and we'll bring it out when it's ready.
And he steps back into the living room.
I'll put my hand on Sydney's shoulder.
Yeah, I sort of looked at to Dr. Person like, I remember he likes the little scallops and stuff. And
yeah,
he likes a lot of garlic. I don't know what's going on. He seems a bit out of sorts tonight.
Well, I mean, how old is he? Is he?
Oh, he was old when I was young. He's always been old to me.
He's about 74.
Yeah, I think maybe it's it's the time where he's starting to get a little senile.
Well, I'm actually quite worried now that you bring that up. Maybe he needs a nurse.
Maybe
no.
he said that he said that he didn't know how to play chess, or he implied that.
Yeah, no, he was an
We all know
excellent chess
that.
player. He always booked my dad when they played.
He might just be getting a little.
Yeah, I've seen it happen to other men. I don't know what to do. I mean, he's such a fine gentleman. It just doesn't seem
Does
right
he
that
have
you
any
to him.
relatives? You know him better than I do.
Well, there was that aunt, but I don't think they talked to it. They weren't talking. You know what? I'm gonna talk to my father, and I'll.
How old is his aunt? Would have to be 90.
She might not even be around anymore. I mean,
he didn't have any kids or anything.
Not that I remember him talking about. I mean, his life was his work, I thought. So, who has time to raise a kid when you're traveling all over the world?
You don't raise
so
kids,
busy.
and when you get to be 75 years
Yeah,
old,
and
you
you've
don't
no
have
one to
anybody
look after
take care.
you. Yeah, this is awful.
Wonder if he
Anyways, he does really like pasta,
nurse.
so you made a good choice. I mean, just it's okay to spice it up and stuff. He'll love it even if he doesn't remember.
I wonder if he can afford a nurse on his pension.
Oh, I think he could. But you know what? This is the kind of thing that the university, some of the profs would come together on, I think. I mean, he's very dear. He's very dear to us. I think maybe we can figure something out for him. But it's good to find this out. It's just sort of unfortunate. This is all very quiet, by the way. We're not talking.
Yeah, right.
Well, he seemed, all of you noticed, Jackson, you have just stepped sort of back into the cabin with, probably a bundle of lumber for the fire. The professor has actually sort of is standing now at the kind of foot of the stairs and working his way up.
Oh, is he walking steady?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not really using his cane. He's kind of just holding it.
Okay. Let's keep an eye on what he's doing.
And you can kind of hear him up the stairs, and sounds like he enters a room.
Sydney, I've got this. Why don't you go talk to the others and
Okay.
see what they
All right.
think?
All right.
So he drank the whole glass.
Yeah, sorry, gentlemen. Mr. Stone, I think we've met in the past. Sorry, did you say your name was? I'm looking at the.
I'm Levi Abelman.
Oh,
You may have read about me in the papers.
I
Chess
feel I
player.
should know
Never
your
mind.
name. Oh, I'm sorry. Terribly sorry about that. I don't quite keep track of that stuff. Um, yeah, he is able to put away his liquor, but he's not. And I looked at
I mean,
to
there's
Timothy. He's not doing quite as well as I was expecting.
there's putting away liquor, and there's drinking a whole glass of bourbon
Yeah.
without a.
I think we should be careful tonight. Maybe we could water down the liquor if he's going to have a bit more later, if that's okay with you guys.
I mean, this isn't.
I could only assume that one wasn't his first.
No, I don't think so. But he doesn't normally drink without company, so I'm slightly worried about that too.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the effects of stroke?
Oh, do you think he's had a stroke?
I mean, he's a little unsteady, and
Yeah, well, I'm a little worried,
things.
like going up and down the stairs there. If he gets too drunk, I don't want him to have a fall or something.
It seems as though he came at the last moment, or he wasn't even going to prepare himself any food for the evening.
Well, the kitchen is actually quite well stocked for visitors, so he must have either he's had some lucidity or he's got someone helping him. I was thinking he needs a nurse, but
Maybe he's in and out.
yeah,
I've never known him to have any
no, he's always
memory
been
problems.
yeah, exactly. This is quite shocking, unfortunately, but it can happen suddenly with some people.
Biologically, I'm the stuff is cooking, so I'm coming out.
Mhm.
Biologically, it's possible though that he could be lucid right up until the end and then start to lose, senility.
Oh,
My own mother was doing
Mhm.
crossword puzzles until 3 days before she passed, and
wow.
she
Well, I hope this doesn't mean it's going to be a really steep and rapid decline.
Well,
Uh,
shouldn't
it does
jump to
seem like
conclusions.
we don't want to jump to any conclusion.
No,
We'll
no,
be
of course not.
careful
Hopefully,
of him.
we're going to be careful, and hopefully we'll
Make
we'll
sure he
see
doesn't
something.
hurt himself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he keeps this up, his liver's going to give out.
We don't have. There's
I-
probably not a phone out here, is there?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, and we're what, an hour away from the city?
About that, yes.
Pardon the intrusion,
Of course.
Miss Horn and gentlemen. So I just finished the fire.
Mhm.
These logs were freshly cut.
Mhm.
So poor Mr. Thomas actually got some strength into him. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot logs for wood outside.
Well,
Oh, I don't see how he could
Well,
possibly have done
There's
that.
the other car. I mean, if somebody else is here,
yeah, maybe he does have a nurse, or maybe he does have family that I didn't know about.
Maybe somebody's here and he has forgotten that they're
Are they
here.
sleeping upstairs? That could be the case.
Should we check on him upstairs?
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. I'll just at least take a poke, and perhaps we can see who his guest is.
Well, I know him the least of all, so yeah,
Well,
you've been here before.
Thomas, do you want to come up? Sorry, Timothy, do you want to come up with me? We'll take a look. We know our way around a little bit.
Yeah. Let's just see if he needs anything, and tell him. How's Dr. Paris? How soon do you think the food will be ready?
Oh, probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll just advise him that dinner
Yeah.
is not long on.
That's a good excuse.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to seem like I'm prying or judging
No.
him, but
No.
something's
So
off.
maybe after dinner, Levi, you challenge me to a game of chess. I don't mind losing.
yes, that might be very enjoyable. I mean, it'd be a shame to let this beautiful chess set just sit here unused.
And Jackson,
Did I
there
hear him
seems-
say it was? Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, Jackson, there seems to be one more glass of bourbon for you, kind of sitting there, unused.
Well, I think I'm going to offer it to some of my compatriots if they don't want it. I think I'm going to pour it in the sink. I don't drink.
I think I'm going to
You pour,
forego any more drinking tonight.
you pour it back in the bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, pour it back in the bottle.
Yeah, I'll pour the vast majority of mine back into the bottle. This is far too much.
But
It might be a long night too.
Mm.
I believe. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I think
no.
Timothy and I
Shall
are
we
going to go
continue?
upstairs to see who's up there and just to let them know it's going to be 20 minutes till dinner.
Okay. So going up the stairs, you can see ahead of you is a kind of what looks like a bathroom. The door is shut, and you can hear someone's inside with the sink running. And then aside from that, there are bedrooms on both your left and your right, also with their doors shut.
I'll stop outside what I know to be the guest bedrooms and see if I hear anybody in them.
No, they all are unoccupied, but you may give
Oh.
me a listen roll, either of you.
I'm a good listener.
Oh,
Not
13.
this time though.
I think a 13 is a regular on the basic, I think. So just a regular success.
Okay, you're kind of stopped here and you're listening sort of at the sink running, and you can also hear what sounds like very quietly, but kind of like the strum of a guitar string or just a very, very muffled string instrument come from inside the bathroom. It's only like once though.
That's odd. Did you hear that?
Just the water. What?
I thought I heard an instrument play. Maybe he's got a friend who has a guitar.
And
A string instrument in the bathroom.
Well, Bohemians. Maybe he's got a Bohemian friend. You know what? Let's just knock on his bedroom door and the bathroom door, and we'll just say 20 minutes till dinner. We'll try that. So just knock, go 20 minutes till food. Just to let you know.
Yes.
Was that a different voice?
No, that was sorry, Professor Thomas.
Oh, okay. And that was coming from the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And he opens up the door with the sink still running. It's hot water is coming out of it. And it's kind of steamed up the bathroom, but he sort of starts to take the steps back downstairs.
I'll just go in and turn off the tap and have a look around for a stringed instrument.
Yep, there are no string instruments in that room.
No, I didn't hear anything anyway. Yeah, and is there anything in the sink?
No, it's just water.
And he's proceeding down the stairs as if we hadn't knocked or said anything.
Yes, he's just going down there now.
I'm gonna have a look in the medicine cabinet. Maybe there's some information about what his condition is.
You sort of open up the medicine cabinet, and there is sort of I don't know quite what they'd have in the 1920s. Sort of
aspirin, straight razors.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of tonics or something advertised for things.
There's nothing that sort of stands out as unusual within the medicine cabinet.
Oh, well, no answer there. I assume that Thomas has reached the ground floor by now.
Yeah, he's about halfway down, actually. He's kind of just looking down, looking at Jackson, Levi, and Dr. Paris in the living room. And he's kind of just standing at the banister watching you all.
I'm just gonna, Sydney, I think I'm just gonna have a quick look in these closed rooms.
Absolutely, yeah. We got to figure what's going on here. Maybe his guest is sleeping somewhere.
Yeah. Which room are you going in first, and then
the left?
Okay. All right. And while you do that, I would like to see what the people downstairs are doing. Professor Thomas has stopped at the stairs. He is now watching you all.
I've walked back into the kitchen and probably draining the pasta.
Professor Thomas, do you need any help? And I'm obviously going towards him to aid him in descending the rest of the steps.
Yeah, you can give me a sort of spot hidden. He's fine. He gets down by himself when you remind him, but
Okay. No,
all right.
93.
And he steps sort of down into the living room and kind of walks over to that chess set and looks to you, Mr. Abelman.
Fancy a game?
Yes, I would like to be shown how to play chess.
All right. So take a seat.
He
So
sits
what do you remember about chess?
and he looks down at it and pulls out the knight. It's very ornately carved. And he holds it up and he says, "Horse."
Yes, that's a knight. Um, so the knight moves in this kind of what we would call an L shape. It can move over other pieces too. Are you sure you don't remember?
And again, looking down at it, he says, I just have this for show. I I would like to learn someday."
Right. Are you feeling okay, Joshua?
I'm feeling fine.
How long have you been up here at the cabin?
See, he sort of starts counting with his hands and he says, um maybe a week. How long have you been at the cabin? Oh, right,
Oh,
you got here tonight, right?
right. And are you sure that nobody else is here?
No, there's no one else here.
Right. And the other car,
That's a spare.
a spare car.
Yes.
How long have you had the spare car?
So he kind of looks at it almost kind of with a confused look, but he says, a week.
You got the spare car a week ago,
Yes.
and you got to the cabin a week ago.
Yes.
So how did that work? Did you drive the spare car up here, walk back to the city, and drive your own car up here?
And he kind of looks over to you, Sydney, and then looks back and says, My aunt helped me.
Your aunt helped you. Is she here now?
No, she left. She drove the spare car up with me, and I uh dropped her out back in Berlin.
You drove her back to Berlin.
I mean, he kind of looks over towards some of the like diplomas and awards on the wall and says, Miskatonic.
Hmm.
He has now arranged the chess pieces to each, so the white pieces are on the white squares and the black pieces are on the black squares.
Yeah, that's not quite how you set up the board. Here, let me show you. And I'll set up the board in the proper fashion.
Okay. He looks at it again.
So these little ones are called pawns.
He holds one up, looks very closely at it.
Right. So pawns move one square forward, unless they haven't moved yet, in which case you can move them two, but only on the first time they move.
He
Right.
nods
Now,
along.
if two pawns are in front of each other, they can't capture each other. They're blocked. But if a piece is one directly ahead diagonally to the pawn, then the pawn can move and capture that piece.
He is holds up the pawn and kind of starts moving it, and he stands up and sort of carries it out of the room. And you may also give me a spot hidden. And Jackson, he comes over to you and gives you the pawn.
56. Oh, 56 is a failure. I'll spend 6 luck to pass.
Yeah, you're looking at him as he walks over, and he seems to be kind of like hunched back. It's his like jacket is sort of catching on, a bump on his back or something. It's quite large. But Jackson, you have
And
now
this
been.
is,
Oh, go ahead.
and I don't remember him having a hunchback before.
No,
Oh, okay.
he has handed you this pawn and says,
Hmm. Uh, Thank you very much, Professor Thomas. Are you sure you are fine? Do you need anything? I can you go and help Dr. Paris fetch the food. You must be famished as well.
I'm fine, Professor. Have you
Uh,
written any books?
Professor, you must be mistaken. I'm Jackson. I'm one of your students. I'm not a professor myself.
Are you a smart student?
Well, you helped me in the past and I'm eternally grateful. Without your help, I
So you're
wouldn't.
not a smart student. And he takes the pawn back from you.
Okay. I'm going to slowly back towards the kitchen.
Yeah, and he's following you, but he's kind of following over to Dr. Paris.
Knock, knock. Sorry for the disturbance, Dr. Paris. The food ready?
Yes, could you help me set the table?
Of course. And I'm going to take dishes and cutlery.
He picks up that pawn and just throws it in the pasta. Captured.
Oh,
I will lean towards Dr. Paris and will say, Dr. Thomas is not himself. He's not feeling very well.
wondering if we need to take him back to Miskatonic, take him to St. Mary's Hospital.
And he's now holding out this sort of piece of pasta, and he kind of just places it on your shoulder, Dr. Paris.
Thank you. Come, doctor, come sit down. Sit down at the table. I'll serve the pasta.
And as he sort of sits down, the clock strikes 7, and we'll go back up to Timothy and Sydney. Timothy, you were checking the rooms, and Sydney, what were you doing upstairs?
I'm just sort of waiting there with him, sort of seeing what he's doing.
So the guest rooms, the ones on the left, you check first. Both of those seem to have been kind of half prepared. They're clean. Maybe there's bedding sort of stacked at the foot of the beds, but it's they're not fully ready. However, the master bedroom is kind of where things get interesting, because you open up the door and the whole room has been kind of trashed. There's sort of the bed and the desk, but there's like Holmes, broken glasses, torn books, all kind of piled in it.
Oh no.
It looks to me, Orrin, as though he was getting ready for us to come up and he had some episode.
Yeah.
So his condition is very recent.
Well, this is far worse than I even thought. This is terrible.
It's a little. It looks a little unsafe in here.
Yeah, you may give me sort of looking around the room. You may give me a spot hidden, and you kind of kick a toothbrush across the room when doing
an
so.
18. That's a regular on the average.
I've got a hard.
You're looking sort of at across the room, and then you see this reddish brown kind of stain on the bed. It's been kind of half covered by the blankets.
Uh-huh. Have a
Has
look
he
at
hurt,
this, Orin.
has he hurt himself?
Where is the stain?
It is sort of midway up the bed, kind of where you put your shoulders or back, and it is blood, definitely, and is quite
Oh,
large.
that's a lot of blood.
How dry is it?
Do you have first aid, medicine, or science biology?
I almost put some of my 50 into first aid, but I went into locksmith instead.
The man we need is downstairs.
Making spaghetti.
Yeah, that's a 89 for my 30 first aid. Is it very wet and sticky?
It's not wet, but it seems to be recent, like past 24 hours.
Yeah, and the human body contains about a gallon of blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Maybe
this
not
looks,
that much, but
looks
it's
like at least a pint glass.
yeah, it's serious damage.
Is there any weapon or thing? I'm going to just sort of gently feel around the bed and bedclothes to see if the accident happened.
Yeah, how did he cut himself?
No, there's no sort of weapon or anything there.
Do you think he tried to kill himself or something? Like, what's going on?
Well, and I didn't see any bandages or anything. And he looked a little, again, shaky, but not as pallid as he would if he'd lost this much blood in the last day. Yeah, I don't. We're going to have to get professional help here. Somebody's going to have to go for the authorities.
We're going to have to take him back to Arkham, take him to the hospital. We can't leave him here. Maybe we'll have to talk to him and try to get him to come with us. I don't want to force the parole guy to leave. This is terrible. This is far worse than I could have imagined.
Yeah, indeed. You said there were broken glasses?
Yeah, like cups
as
and
in
mugs.
Drinking glasses? Yeah.
Yes. Just things you would have in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Maybe for water or coffee.
Is there spilled water that's still in a wet puddle next to a broken glass, or
maybe it's probably seeped into the floorboards at this point.
Uh-huh.
So
And you said he'd been tearing books up?
I would say maybe not quite torn up, but it looks like they kind of fell to the floor.
Tossed around or something. I mean, it almost looks as though he was attacked in his bed.
Really?
And then
you mentioned the possibility of a stroke. He lost blood. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
so does it look kind of like he pulled books
it
off the shelf? Maybe while he was.
Yeah, maybe he, tried to brace himself against them. I'll say the bookshelf in here there's not quite a bookshelf. Maybe there's just a table with books that were on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that this might just be like what he reads at night, and he stores his books elsewhere.
Sure.
Yeah. Should I get Dr. Paris up here to look at this?
I mean, he's not a medical doctor.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. We need to have hopefully he'll sit down and eat with us and we can
convince him to go back with us, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be the best thing. But we can't leave him alone for.
I don't know about these mountain roads late at night either. We might want to wait until the morning.
The morning? Okay.
But if we have to find out where his injury is.
Yeah, well, that would be about where his back or stomach was. I mean, I don't know if he sleeps on his belly or his back, but okay, well let's go down and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready.
And
Okay.
you step downstairs, and Professor Thomas is sitting at the table, and you all hear the call for dinner.
Mhm.
Smells delicious. Fine work.
Mhm. That's very good.
It's
Then
it's
on the
always
way
it's always
on the way down, I look to Dr. Paris and I go, and I sort of mouth to you loudly, like looking right at you. Stairs. And then I sort of sit down.
um I think wine is better with pasta than bourbon is.
Yeah, red wine is the right thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There's some in
Generally.
the sauce.
Oh, it's in the sauce.
I'll get glasses for anyone who's interested.
I'm
Professor?
gonna go wash up really quick.
Okay.
And I vault up the stairs.
Yeah. You
I'm
sort
gonna
of
check
step
the room.
you step back up into the bedroom. And yeah, you kind of see what this blood stain on the bed.
Where on his body would the red stain have been? Here,
Probably around his back, like here,
his back,
upper back.
where the funny hump is. I wonder if he's got a tumor. I'm wondering. I don't see any like medication lying
Nope.
around. Looks like maybe he fell because some of the books are knocked down, and I'll
Yeah,
I'll
you
just give a
can.
quick survey.
Yeah, you can give me your choice of first aid, medicine, or biology, as well as a psychology roll.
I'll do biology.
And I'll say, since you have those, you can do it at a bonus.
Okay. What did I say I was going to do?
Biology.
Hmm.
Yeah. I got a 45 out of 60. So, yeah, I mean, I can discern something.
Yeah, so you discern that this again came from the upper back. It is about 12 hours. It was in the last 12 hours this happened, so fairly recent, and the wound itself must be quite sort of significant.
Yeah. All right. I'll go back downstairs. Um, Doctor, Professor Thomas, did
He's
you,
holding a sort of mound of spaghetti
yeah,
and like eating it.
did you, did you injure yourself yesterday?
No, why would I injure myself?
Is your back all right?
Yes, it's fine.
Not a question of why you would injure yourself as much as how you would injure yourself. I mean, all alone here, you could have an accident of some kind. Everything was
Trust-
all right?
Yes, everything's fine.
Do you know, I'd recommend a fork for that, actually. It's, much less messy.
He holding this, and he grabs the fork and just kind of stabs into that. Not like into his hand, but the fork's now sort of in the spaghetti, and he's continuing to eat it with his hand.
Right.
He flicks a piece of spaghetti at you, Jackson.
Roll to dodge.
Gentlemen, I think I've seen quite enough at this point. I think we need to take our poor friend here back to Arkham.
No, it's too late. I don't want to go to Arkham.
What is it too late for?
He kind of there might be bandits on the road.
Do you have a lot of bandit trouble here in the Massachusetts woods?
Massachusetts. Yes, actually. They highwaymen and bandits. They rob travelers and merchants.
Robin Hood and his merry men.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember who Robin Hood is?
It's a bird.
There is a bird called a robin.
It's something you wear, right?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Your back,
My back's fine.
Joshua.
Doctor, you seem to be exhibiting some mental difficulty, and we were thinking that we should probably take you back to Arkham and have you looked over in a hospital. You are rather advanced in age.
I don't believe that's necessary, but thank you for asking.
I don't know how much it is that we're asking. We are
I'm not going
gravely,
anywhere.
gravely concerned. Dr. Paris, we would all feel better if you would at least let Dr. Paris examine your back.
Joshua, it looks like you've hurt yourself badly. You might not even be aware of how bad it is.
I'm perfectly fine. Look, I ate dinner.
Yeah, but you've lost some blood.
As we're talking, I'm going to get up with the pretense of clearing some of the dishes, but I'm going to walk around behind Professor Thomas and see if I notice anything like on the back of his neck, like an injury or a scratch. Or
Give me a spot hidden, and I'll say since you're kind of close, you can do it with a bonus die.
okay, I'll need it. Spot hidden. Where's my spot hidden? I don't see anything.
There is this sort of large lump you do notice. You can't tell quite what it is, but it's
His clothing is over the top of it.
yeah, it doesn't help with like sort of the velvet of it's kind of hard to like kind of see through it, but like it looks like a large lump and maybe some like smaller ones.
When he's looking at them, I'm just going to gently reach out and touch it a little to see if it's sensitive.
Give me a sanity roll because when you touch it, it moves, it vibrates, and
I failed.
you hear this low like guitar like noise. You all hear it. I'll say it's gonna be a D4
Okay.
because this thing starts moving and he stands up.
I lose to sanity, and I step back. I says, "Oh, excuse me.
You're not supposed to do that.
What was that noise? I heard that sound again.
Did it sound like you say like a guitar or like
Yeah,
a
like
sort of musical, like a
yeah, but
cricket chirp?"
kind of. It's like muffled by the coat he's wearing. But yeah, a cricket chirp would probably be a good way to put it. But maybe a bit more. Maybe it's actually strings.
What in the world?
And he's
Professor,
sort of
you have something.
walking away.
You have something on your back. I'm going
Yes,
to
my
try
coat.
to head him off.
All right. He is going to try to stab you with that fork. So we're going to go into Dex order here.
Oh no.
I'll I'll say I'll consider you ready because you were doing something. So you want to try to cut him off.
Yeah, and if he tries, I see that I've got to see the fork in his hand, so
Hmm.
I'm going to try and block it if he tries to stab me with it.
Yeah, you can give me a brawl roll.
I don't block it.
Oh no.
So
I
Can
got an
I
80.
can I help to try to restrain? I don't want to harm the poor
Yeah.
professor, but I'm quite physically fit. Can I try to hold them, restrain them, try to get the fork out of their hand?
yeah, so the fork goes into your hand. It's kind of stuck between your fingers. And you're gonna take 3 damage from
Oof.
that. As it's kind of just jammed in your hand now.
Jesus
But-
Christ.
We'll go to you, Jackson. What are you doing at this moment?
I still think
You're
it's an
trying to grab
accident,
the professor. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'll go to the kitchen.
I will try to restrain gently, because I haven't seen anything of the sort. So I still assume it's a frail old man. I don't want to harm them, but I want to brawl just to restrain them. No damage done. Like, whoa, Professor, what are you doing?
Yeah. You go to grab him, and you can give me that brawl roll.
Yeah. Oh, that's a 46. Yeah, that's a regular success.
All right. You go to grab it, and again, you can feel this thing on his back start vibrating, and it starts making this music again. It is, you're holding him. It's lumpy. It's feels like, I don't know, like kind of string like a big, kind of like the clump of spaghetti he was holding earlier, but it is moving on his back. So you can also give me a sanity.
Yeah, for sure.
There's something on his back.
That's a pass.
All right, just none for that. So
Jesus Christ, what is this on his back?
You're kind of holding him.
Yeah, so as I'm trying to restrain him, Mr. Abelman, Born, help me, please, with the poor dot.
Yes, of course. I will help. I will help subdue Professor Thomas.
Sorry, one more question. How tough is he? So he is frail on the appearance, but is he exhibiting big strength or?
Not like not outside of the limits of a human.
Okay.
He's kind of just, it's average strength, And so if Abelman and Abelman, you're trying to restrain them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also give me a brawl roll with a bonus die since you're working together.
Let's see here. Yeah, with the bonus die, it's a 13, which is one shy of a hard success, but so regular.
All right. Yeah, you're both holding on to him. He's trying to struggle. Whatever this is on his back is now you all can kind of see it. And it is making this noise over and over again, kind of pulsing. Timothy, what are you doing now?
I'm trying to convince Professor Thomas not to struggle. I'm, going to sort of move open hands toward him, say, Joshua, you just stabbed Dr. Paris with a fork. You're clearly out of sorts. You need to take some deep breaths and calm down. We need to see to your injury. Obviously, you got hurt. So just work with us. We are all your friends, and want to see you get better, get well after this.
Yeah, you may give me a sort of persuade roll.
I'm going to help him because this is what I think I would do. So you might get a bonus die from that.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take that bonus die. Oh, and it made all the difference. I went from 81 to 11.
Whoa.
Which is hard.
Faintly see it, but he kind of mouths something at you. Help me? And then it's workshop. And as that happens, you hear this horrible ripping noise as whatever is on his back rips itself free. There's blood that spurts over you, both Jackson and Levi. Thomas falls over. He's alive, but not doing well as this thing plops to the floor. You see this writhing mass of string, kind of like, again, this ball of spaghetti, but its strings on it are tensing and then sort of plucking like a guitar, making this noise as it starts kind of squirming across the floor out of the room.
For God's sakes, kill it.
All can give me a sanity roll. And this thing's going to try to it's going towards the stairs.
I passed my sanity.
I did not.
Yeah, I passed with an 18.
What's the loss if you don't make it?
It's a D4 on a failure, 1 on success.
1 for me.
I succeeded with that too. Apparently, I just don't believe anything of what I'm seeing.
I keep that.
Well, it's a
I'm
bit
gonna-
hard to accept. Yeah.
Seeing this, I'm
Oh,
gonna
just
grab the
one.
butcher knife that I was just using, not just using for
Mhm.
dinner, and I'm going to try to just jam it in the middle of the ball of.
Yeah, give me a fighting ball roll. It's gonna try to sort of jump out of the way. It's not.
I got a 10. What is that?
Nice.
My fighting brawl. That is, well, that's just a, no, that is hard.
All right, you can give me does a D6 plus damage bonus sound good? Is that or a D4?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do a
It's a,
D6.
it's a
Yeah,
knife.
it's heavy, so
I've actually got it up here. Knife is
I think.
1d4 plus 2.
Okay.
So, total of 4. My intention, though, is to just jam it into the floor so that it can't.
Yeah, you bring this knife down
I
on
pin
it,
it down.
and it cuts the thing in half. And these little like sections of it are still doing the surviving thing, but they seem to be sort of dying, maybe.
Is it worms? Is it worms? Does
They're
he
too
have
thin.
worms?
They're too thin to be worms. They're like maybe a bit thicker than a guitar string, but some of them are like broken where it ripped itself free and they're all kind of covered in blood. And there seems to be some sort of mouth or tooth section, kind of like a leech in it.
It's a parasite of some sort.
But it's sort of dying now. The worms or the strings are kind of this purplish tan, maybe like a tan color with like a hint of purple. It's very disturbing to look at.
Yeah, I am trying to stomp on any bit that's still wriggling.
Yeah, you stomp on it. It stops
Okay.
moving. It
Okay.
stops
All right.
squirming. But Thomas is there. Professor Thomas is there, bleeding very badly.
Okay, we got to grab something to kind of stop the bleeding. I don't really have.
Here's
any
a kitchen
basic first
towel.
aid.
I think
Okay,
we're
yeah.
looking at more like a whole bed sheet. There are
Yeah.
bedrooms there are guest rooms on the ground floor. I'm going to run to a guest room. I want to wrap his whole chest up. We need to
Yeah.
get him out.
Yeah, we got to take him back to the hospital.
Yeah, his back, you can see some of these strings are kind of still embedded in it as the thing just ripped itself off. But it's bad. But anyone can do a first aid roll
Yeah, remove
Anyone-
those fucking
or medicine.
worms from him.
You might hurt him more though. Is anyone good at first aid, or we just got to use basic? Like, does anyone?
I got a
I got
5
basic.
of the average.
Okay, can we do
I'm good
basic
at-
with a bonus for like 5 people trying to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here I'll roll. Okay, you know what? I'll burn some luck. Right. So just a normal success.
Okay. That is enough to sort of stabilize him. And he kind of, again, says, Sydney, it's in the workshop.
The workshop?
Charnel, the housekeeper.
The housekeeper.
Okay.
Do
The
I- do I-
workshop's an outbuilding. He's
He's kind of pointing to it, but
Yeah.
he kind of falls unconscious.
I thought he should have a housekeeper, and I
Yes, someone was helping him. Of course, we got to go to the workshop. Does he have a rifle over his fireplace, like a shotgun or rifle? Because it's woods.
You can give me a luck roll.
All right. Yep. Yes.
All right, there's
Okay.
a sort of single-barreled shotgun there.
Okay, I'll pull it off the wall and I'll check it to make sure it's functioning properly.
It's functioning. It's empty. I'll say there's some shells near it that you can put
Okay.
in.
I'll start loading it. We don't know if there's more of those things.
Well, I mean, he got infected somehow. It looks like something from South America.
Yeah, Dr. Ferris, what the
I-
fuck is that? Part of my language, but Jesus
I
Christ.
have no idea what I'm looking at.
Some and it was affecting his brain, so probably eating its
Yeah.
way into his spinal cord or something.
Okay, we need to go to
Nasty.
the workshop.
Levi, you wash your foot off. Make sure there's none of those
Yeah,
little.
geez. I start scraping the bottom of my shoe against
You
the
know, we know a
floor.
lot about Western diseases, but we don't know anything about Africa. It's just full of parasites.
Like
His
that, though?
professor is well
I don't
traveled,
know.
but why
Well, he
would he
hasn't
have?
traveled in a long time, though. This would have had been with for years.
When
you can give me a educational to see if you remember his last journey.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I got to
I
know
remember
eight.
it vividly. I got an 05.
Yeah, you do remember. We'll say he went on a consulting job and maybe it was like a school trip, but to Egypt.
He was
Okay.
in Egypt last.
Okay.
This seems more like a swamp parasite than a
Yeah,
desert parasite.
jungle. But you know, for a mile on either side of the Nile, it's pretty tropical.
Right.
It's only outside that it's a jungle, and there's a
Uh,
lot of crocodiles and hippos.
I'm going to check all of the vehicles for flashlights.
All
And
right.
while I'm at it,
I've
I'm
got
going
one.
to look at the registration in the car that I don't recognize.
That's
This
probably his
Chevy
caregiver.
FB. Probably. Maybe if we have a name for her when we find her. If we find her, I'm afraid we
Well,
should look for her in the flower beds.
well,
Yeah,
he said the workshop. I mean, she
Yeah.
might still be alive.
Maybe.
you sort of step out into the Timothy, you step out into the front yard where there are these cars. Looking in, they're both unlocked. The Chevrolet is belonging. There's a registration to Professor Thomas. Uh, no flashlight in there.
I've got a
Um,
flashlight, so
but in the Ford Model T next to it, you can give me a spot hidden.
I'm going to have to spend 7 luck to make that a success.
You see there's a sort of day planner kind of tucked between the seats, and the note on it says, Professor Thomas, clean and ready for guests. And aside from that, you see it's belonging to Mrs. Charnel, and there are some sort of cleaning supplies in the back.
I thought he was referring to his workshop as a charnel house. I'm glad it's her name.
what a horrible name.
Yeah.
Can't be helped.
Okay, so I'm going to go back in the house and collect. I think we want at least Jackson for muscle and one other person to.
Jackson,
I'll
grab
come
the
along.
axe.
I know how to use
Um,
this.
Yeah, I got my signature baseball bat with me, but an axe might be more appropriate for the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to take a hatchet to one of those things.
Yep.
If we got these bugs, we need to throw some kerosene. I'll bring the kerosene in case we got to burn that shit.
Okay.
Pardon my language.
You sort of step over to the workshop. There's this large rolling door. Is everyone going over to the workshop, or are some people watching Thomas?
I think we should, if we've got him stabilized, we can all go.
Okay.
As long as he's not actively bleeding. Does he seem how tenuous is consciousness for him?
He's unconscious now.
We've laid him on the couch. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't seem like he's gonna, die in his sleep. And to some of your elite, there was a little bit of that, his old self back in him. At least you could tell he was a little bit more,
Not
Unusually
weird.
were.
He drank all that bourbon. His blood is thin. He could bleed. We've patched him up pretty well, but he'll be good for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Find out what this infection is.
But over the workshop, there's this like barn. There's a large rolling door you can swing open, and inside you find a very, very large collection of artifacts. It's Your light glints off of some statues, maybe a suit of armor,
Hmm.
some gold. It seems that this is sort of a lifetime of treasure from all his expeditions.
Oh, I remember
He's
him
got
showing
a
some of these to my dad.
fortune in here.
Mrs.
Oh,
Charnel,
yes.
are you out here?
You say that, and all you can hear is a single, like, pluck, the same noise.
Oh, no.
It sounds like one this time, but yeah.
Mrs. Charnel, we know you need help. We're friends of the professor's. We're going to be going to the hospital soon. Where are you?
Nothing.
Well, I'll start moving around, but if I see anything wiggle or string or, I've got a ball of string in my pocket of all things, like a lure. Uh, but I'll move slowly and making sure there's nothing crawling on the ground.
Your light passes over the various artifacts, and then it comes across a work table, and on it you can see there's a string similar to the other ones that were made up this creature. It's held in a vice, and it's just occasionally it's being like pulled back and then let go by nothing really. It's just doing it on its own.
Yeah,
Says,
yeah, burn that.
yeah, I don't think kerosene's gonna. I don't think there's any harm in putting kerosene on a thing like that.
No.
Well, there's a lot of artifacts out here. We don't want to damage the artifacts. Let's see if we can just smash
Uh,
whatever it is with a.
I'll take my pocket knife. Can I cut it?
It's a bit hard to cut, but you can. And there's it cuts to it kind of drops, then it kind of goes back up and still does that sort of plucking. Just there's now two of them now.
Stomp it. Uh,
So this is something he was working on or with.
He never
Is-
talked about anything like this.
Dr.
there-
Paris, you may do a biology roll here. But what were you saying, Sydney?
He told me all kinds of stories about weird things when I was a kid, but he's never mentioned anything like this. Unless he did,
oh, I'm not even looking at the right one.
I don't think I remember anything like that.
Does the work table have anything on it other than the vice with the thing?
Yeah, looking over at it, you can see sort of this pile of papers, and you realize it is what a notebook, but kind of several notebooks kind of crammed together. You've maybe heard stories of his manuscript where he just writes down all his experiences, but that's kind of right next to this.
All right, I'm gonna have a look through these papers. Maybe we can identify this thing and it'll help us deal with it. And we
I
have to
did
find the
pass.
woman.
All right, you can fully determine that while this thing seems to be biological, there's, nothing on Earth like it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this.
There's no like organs or, muscles in it. It's just a string that is kind of moving.
It's
Um,
not. Yeah.
Timothy kind of cracking open this manuscript. You go to the more recent entries where he talks about sorry, not the more recent ones, but a while ago he did find this thread. He found it in Egypt in a dig site, and he kind of forgot about it, and then he rediscovered it recently when he was kind of reminded of it on his recent journey, and he is completely baffled by what it is, despite him professing his experience with other strange matters. And he kind of just feels like locking it away or throwing it away because it just baffles him.
Seems as though he should have. Is it conceivable that a group of these things somehow attacked him in the night?
Yeah, if he got some of this on his clothing and it,
Did he say how
it's
many
a
he brought
parasite.
back? Did he say he
It's
brought
just-
one back or
He
many?
called it scenario title, The Lonely Thread.
So he just brought one.
Yes.
But it seems to multiply.
Yeah.
At least that's what we've seen now.
Well, I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I say that cutting it is not a solution. We should, I don't know, incinerate it.
Or
Should
capture it
definitely
and study it.
I mean, that worked out so well for our dear friend, but where is
Yeah.
this housekeeper?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a wood cellar downstairs.
Yeah, me looking around for that, and I'll say, Levi, you do come across a trapdoor.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it up.
You get the smell of like this musky, like it smells bad. It's like mold coming up, but not quite the smell of death. But it's the wood cellar's dark.
Ugh.
I wouldn't want to go down there not knowing
Mrs.
there's more of these
Charnel.
things around.
Is there any means to light a kerosene lamp or something in this room?
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah,
maybe
so
he just
let's-
has one for, when he's actually in the workshop.
I'll do that, and then I'll hand Levi my flashlight so he can look down in the cellar.
Yeah, I'll take the flashlight.
You look down and
Mhm.
it takes you a moment because you think it's like straw lining the cellar floor, and then you realize it is just a bunch of these kind of just tangled together, lying
Oh.
on the floor.
God, there's a whole bunch of them down here.
Close the lid.
Infestation.
Get out of there and close the lid. Don't get close to those things.
We need to move these antiquities someplace safe and then set this workshop on fire. I mean, I don't generally advocate arson, but how say a bunch of these things? What do you?
It's too dangerous. They're too dangerous to live. We can't. I'm sorry,
Well,
Dr. Paris. This is not a safe thing
look,
to have.
I agree. We have to eradicate them, but we do need to take some samples because
You've got the
we
dead
have to
thing.
know-
You got the dead thing in the cabin, sir. That's probably good enough.
we need a living one. We need to know what to do with this in the future if we encounter it again. If we just eradicate it all, then we're going to be unprepared. If
Well,
we-
then, sir, you need to get the Arkham biology department in to handle it. That's not something we should be doing. We don't know how it contaminates a person. What does it do?
Look, go empty out a jar of spaghetti sauce and put one of the things on the table into it.
Are you kidding? I made that sauce from scratch. I didn't use this.
Yeah, that was good, by the way. That was good sauce, sir. You
was good.
could have been a chef.
Is there a jar or something here in the workshop?
Yeah, I'll say maybe there's like a metal
Yeah.
tin that had like pins in or something.
And as a biologist, I just pull out my tweezers, which I've always got with me, and I'll try to get a couple of them and put them in the jar and then seal up the jar.
Oh, are you getting
Yeah.
the ones from the workshop or from the kitchen or the house?
Oh, the kitchen ones are all dead. I'll get some living ones from here.
I'll say,
And
yeah,
then-
are you getting them, sorry, from the wood cellar or from the desk? The like vise on the desk.
I would
one.
have to actually go down into the wood
I
cellar. wouldn't
don't
I, to
suggest
get, yeah.
it, Professor. I don't think
I'll
that's
get them
very
from the
safe.
desk.
That's
So-
much better, sir.
I will say, give me a sort of dexterity roll to kind of grab them because they are quite squirmy.
Okay. I am good at this biological stuff. So, what was it? Dexterity?
Yep.
Yeah, I got 46 out of 60.
Yeah, you
Oh yeah, you're deft.
carefully grab each of them and
Yeah.
just put them in a jar. And they seem to be kind of
Now-
trying to move towards the cellar.
Yeah.
But
I'll get the sample. Jackson, let's move these antiquities out. Be careful of that thing, though.
Yeah.
I want to make
You
sure
know,
there's
before
not
you
these
before you
things.
pick anything up, we need to check it thoroughly to make sure there's nothing of these kind of things stuck to it. So let's be very
I
cautious.
like how you think, Miss Horn. Yeah. So I will have someone point the flashlight on all the antiquities, move them. Tedious process, streamline it. Essentially, try to get as much outside.
are you so
Mhm.
you're moving everything out of here, everything of value.
As long as there's nothing in any of
Yeah.
these worms.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to consult with Mr. Stone because I don't know half of what it's in here. So
Anything that looks unusual, we'll move it outside And
And
we
I'm
can
sure
collect
there
it
are
later,
some
but
packing crates and things in here too, so
Mhm.
we can simplify it. But
trying to drag them out.
Give
Mr.
me
King is quite strong.
yeah, you can roll me a D2 to see how long it takes.
While they're doing that, I'm going to go check on the doctor, the professor, just to make sure he's okay.
He's fast asleep.
Okay.
Which one of you? Uh, one of the two. I don't know. Both of you rolled it.
So I rolled the one.
Okay, I'll say Jackson. Yeah. So
He's
it's
doing the
going to
most
take
of the
about
work.
it's going to take about like an hour or two. Get all this out. But going to check in on the doctor, he is not fine. Be say he's just asleep. Um, it doesn't look like his back wound bled much more. There's probably still a little bit of like blood that leaked out of it, but
The worst
and
was when he got attacked by this thing earlier.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And you look sort of over at the clock and it's about 8 p.m. now. And you can see look back out the window and Jackson is carrying boxes out the workshop. There's a lot here.
That poor
Handy
woman, she must be in.
documents. Yeah. If she fell
Help
into
me
that
with this
hole, she might
box.
not be there anymore.
No, she's couldn't be alive down there, could she?
I don't think
I
so.
hope to God she isn't.
Well, yeah. I think we should just check all of the bedrooms and make sure that and just have a look around the grounds and make sure there isn't a recent
Hole.
earth movement.
Yep, you sort of step outside and there's the garden. It seems it's well tended. But doesn't look like there's any sort of graves. You think Thomas would probably struggle to even, at full health, would struggle to dig a person-sized hole.
Yeah. And she's not in any of the guest bedrooms.
No,
Does the cabin itself have a cellar?
it does not.
Maybe she left her car here. She didn't leave.
He's probably down there with anything left of her.
Probably ate her alive. In any case, I think we need to drop the kerosene lantern down into that pit and have it, break and light the whole thing on fire.
I mean, I'm leaning strongly toward arson. I wonder if we shouldn't go and get the local sheriff first, though.
It's an hour to get anywhere.
I'm sure there's something between here and Arkham where there's some kind of authority. I don't know what we're going to tell them. Our dear friend was attacked by a bunch of fishing bait, and he's got a workshop full of it.
Well, they'll see
some
the
kind of
injuries on
weird
his back.
snake. Say
Some kind of, or caterpillar or worm or parasite. Just say a weird Egyptian parasite.
He brought back a parasite from his exotic travels in Africa. Yeah.
And Jackson, you start setting the sort of final boxes outside as y'all deliberating. About an hour has passed, kind of moving all these things out.
So we're going to go to the sheriff to say that he brought back a parasite from Egypt, and therefore we need him to sanction us burning down a building?
We're going to burn it. We're going to burn it now.
That's
Okay,
probably
good.
the best. Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do.
We can't risk anybody getting infected by this shit.
I'm worried that we didn't get them all off him in the first place, and they might still be replicating somewhere in his system. I mean, clearly they were affecting him neurologically.
Well,
We got to get him to
that's going to be the hospital's going to have to deal with that. Yeah.
They'll have a parasitologist, there might actually be one at Miskatonic University.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We
It's
probably
a teaching hospital.
probably get some weird diseases in Arkham, congenital and otherwise.
So we've moved out all the boxes after about an hour.
Yep.
A safe distance from the workhouse.
They're kind of probably stacked like on the back porch.
Does
you
it
know.
look like there's any chance of catching the forest on fire? We don't want to do that.
No, if it starts in the cellar, there's a small
It'll
chance,
collapse.
but yeah, you think it'll collapse before it just spreads. It's not particularly windy outside.
Levi, you want to do the honors?
I would be glad to. So if we take that bottle of bourbon, I guess stuff a rag down.
Hmm. And
Kerosene
you
lantern.
Oh yeah, kerosene lantern, yeah.
and you kind of walk over to this trapdoor. It's open, and you're just throwing it in there.
Yeah.
You may give me a luck
Smashing it in
roll.
there. Yeah.
Ooh, luck roll. Da, da, da,
Oh,
da. 89.
Oh no.
So it smashes. Maybe it's not quite hard enough because it doesn't it's not as dramatic as a spread as you were kind of hoping. And all this straw, well, not really straw on the ground, it does this strum once and it all retracts to a corner of the cellar. And you see something, you hear like a cracking or a tearing noise as something starts moving across the cellar floor. And so we'll go back into Dex order
Fuck.
with athlete, the athlete Jackson. You're first.
Okay.
You hear this crash from the cellar, the wood cellar, and something moving in it.
So can we get a flashlight on the current location and try to
Gotcha.
Perfect. Yeah, I think but hitting it with the axe doesn't work because it actually helps it. I'll try to hit it with the axe to distract it while the others might try to find screaming to them.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
say
gasoline source.
when it steps into view, says it wasn't quite in view, you see this humanoid mass of these threads. It looks like there was maybe once a person underneath it. Yeah, you can see some skin that's kind of just stitched with these threads that are still doing this unpleasant strumming. And it's massive. It has one red eye kind of hidden in it, and it sort of steps out towards you, and it lets out this roar, which sounds like the mix of, again, a string instrument and low screaming. I'll say everyone can give me a sanity roll because
Yeah. Sure.
you'll see it at some point.
She
Yeah.
made it then.
Oh, 98.
Not you.
Is that a fumble for you?
I think so.
So
Good old fumble.
it is a D8 on a failure, 1 on a success, so you just lose 8.
Oh,
Oh, we,
oh,
I only
No.
lost. I passed.
yeah,
Oh,
I lost one, surprisingly.
I lost 8.
Oh no!
and both of you can give me the intelligence roll, I
Intelligence.
believe. Yeah. But you get, well, we'll see if you get it.
Of course, I passed my intelligence.
yeah, me too.
Too many smart people here.
We're all going to get infected. Yeah.
Timothy, you have the realization that this thing,
It's charnel.
yeah, it's charnel, but it almost happened to Professor Thomas too. And then Dr. Paris, this is not anything on Earth. This isn't any Egyptian parasite. This is something entirely alien. Yeah, let me know what you get on the D8 for the bout.
I got flee and panic.
Okay. So
I'm
yeah,
going to run
were you running?
back towards the house.
And Timothy?
1.
All right, that is amnesia.
Oh shit!
So how do you think you kind of?
I'm There were some really magnificent objects in this workshop that I was helping to transfer to the porch. I need to go and look at, there's a Greek amphora that had really fascinating markings on it. And I think it's time that I return to considering that very closely, seeing if I can evaluate its age, provenance, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's holding up this pot, looking at it, fixated on it. And Jackson, we'll get back to you now. You wanted to try to attack it. What did you want to do as it steps towards you?
Now that I see it actually has an eye formation or something, I want to strike it in the eye directly. Give a big axe to the all-seeing eye from beneath this.
Yeah, give me a fighting brawl roll.
Fighting brawl, yes, sir. That's a 50, which I believe on my brawl is under 65, so that's a regular success. Would it make it a hard bring any kind of advantage to this?
Yes, I'll say.
Okay.
You can give me a hard.
Okay, so I will spend 18 points of luck out of my 45 to score a hard.
So you hit it, and this eye kind of bursts, and all these threads start squirming out of it, and it kind of tries to move it across the monster's like face, but yeah, that definitely sort of impaired its ability to kind of cinch you, although it does seem to have some sort of like echolocation. Dr. Paris, you're fleeing, right?
Yeah, and I rolled it out. It says that I'll flee for 2 rounds.
Okay.
I run into the house, up the stairs, and into the wardrobe, and then it says that I pass out. So I'm cowering in the bottom of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
I've lost consciousness.
And Levi.
So while Jackson is fending it off, I want to find another thing that's flammable. I'm still on board with the light it on fire idea.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can of kerosene.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to douse this thing with flammable liquids.
So you find this can of kerosene that you mentioned previously. Would you like to throw the can at it or like get closer and sort of pour it on it?
I don't want to accidentally hit Jackson with it.
Okay.
So I guess I'm getting close to it and I'm just trying to pour it on.
Let me see. Would you like to give me a dex roll to kind of do that, or a brawl roll? I'll leave it up to you.
We'll do dex.
You're pouring at it, it'll get some on it regardless. I want to see how much gets on it.
Yeah. Sorry. For some reason I can't. My character sheet's giving me difficulty. My dex is 55. 94.
Oh,
So you get it on it. Maybe it's sort of at its feet rather than, covering the whole thing. But yeah, you maybe are a little bit too close to it for comfort. Push it?
I kind of want to push it. But it seems like a really
I will
bad
say
idea.
if you push it, you might get some on Jackson too if you fail.
Okay, I'm pushing it, Jackson.
Oh, he doesn't care about you, Jackson. Oh.
38.
Yay.
Nice. So you kind of maybe just tear the whole top of the can off and just dump it on it, Jackson.
Yeah, getting right in there over his shoulder.
It's soaked. And Timothy, you're admiring this. What'd you get on your sort of bout? How long is your bout?
Oh, remind me what I roll?
We'll say a D6. I don't want it to be a full 10 because that'd be the whole thing.
5. I'm distracted. I've stopped to relight my pipe. I'm adjusting the light. I completely, all thoughts of alien strings are absent from my mind.
Happy place.
And Sydney, it is your turn.
I'm going to take the time to aim the shotgun where the eye was, because maybe that's a good vulnerable spot, so I can get a good shot on it.
So you're spending this round to aim?
Yeah, what does that give you? Does a bonus die or plus 20? How
I
does that
believe a
work?
bonus die.
Okay, so
And this thing is going to probably swing at you, Jackson, since you did take out its eye. So would you like to dodge or fight back?
I would like to dodge. Thank you very much.
And
Let
it
me
does have a penalty.
so dodge. Where is it? I want to get out the way. Okay, so pretty good dodge, but I miss the dodge. An 84.
It swings at you, and you feel these threads brush you as it barely misses. And you can tell it's off its senses because it's now missing an eye. So it will go back to you. You have this axe.
Um, I mean, I want to. So seeing that Levi drenched it in gasoline, I'm not a coward, but I kind of want to tactically retreat. So I want to essentially get away from it so that the others can light it on fire.
Yeah, you retreat sort of out of the workshop. You see Timothy there is lighting his pipe with a match. And yeah, you step out of its way as it sort of stomps into the forest, into the sort of clearing outside. And Dr. Paris, you're hiding for one more round.
Yeah, but then I'm passing out. So
Okay. And we'll get back to you
I'm
next time.
passing out for 4 rounds.
Okay. Dang. Well, we can say you wake up. I don't want you to be asleep in a cabinet for the whole scene. But
Maybe
Levi.
I want to be asleep in the coffin.
Yeah, maybe it's up to you.
it'd be better
Well,
for you. Yeah.
as this thing's trying to shuffle off into the woods, I'm gonna.
Oh, it's shuffling towards you. It's not.
Oh, shuffle.
into the
Okay.
woods. Yeah, it's shining
Okay.
at
Well,
you.
I'm going to strike a match and trying to light it on fire.
Yeah. You can do a sort of your choice again of a brawl or dex roll.
We'll do
I
dex.
say unless you're throwing the match.
Nah, throwing's no good. Drop a dice. 63. I'm going to spend the 8 points of luck to pass.
It tries to sort of shuffle out of the way, but you get it. It goes up in flames and it starts squirming. The sort of strings aren't like making, I don't know, it's kind of screaming at this point. But yeah, I'll see how much damage it is. Yeah, it's not enjoying this. And you're still looking at Timothy. You have this sort of vase in front of you, and you notice, like, yeah, this is legitimate. Quite valuable. And this is like the fire from the beast is kind of glowing, reflecting
Yes.
off the vase.
I can see it more clearly now. Thank you. Magnificent work.
Oh, good Lord.
And
For the love of God, Stone!
not Troy, sorry. Sydney.
Yep. Okay, both barrels. So we got a bonus die on this.
Yeah.
And we roll the 10s. So 30 is under my half because I'm a good shot. So I guess that's a hard success.
hmm
I don't know what that does for shotgun. Like,
I don't
what I
really
roll.
think anything. It's 46 for the damage, I believe.
Okay. $17 damage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you aim the shotgun at it and pretty much blast a hole in it. It kind of takes one more step forwards and then just crumples. And it's still writhing on the ground as it is burning. But we will go
I
out.
just had the weirdest dream.
You wish.
Yeah, we'll say, Timothy, you kind of finish your sort of fascination with the Greek face and set it down, and then look over it, and then Dr. Paris, you wake up in a wardrobe.
Not
That
the first
bourbon must have
time.
been strong. It's not the first time, no.
I've woken up in wardrobes in real life.
If I do wake up, I'm terrified because I don't have amnesia. I did forget, but
Hmm.
I then try to come to my senses, and I come running downstairs. Uh, I I don't know why I ran. It's fight or flight. It took over.
Well, did you bring the marshmallows? We got that fire started.
Did we get it all? We need to burn out down the basement. There could be a whole bunch of them still down there.
Whole bunch of what?
Uh,
Parasites.
yeah.
Oh, there was something wrong with Thomas, wasn't there?
Yes.
He's not acting himself. We should take him. I guess we should get a good night's sleep and take him in the morning.
We're taking them tonight.
Yeah.
If you think it's that urgent,
Mhm.
was
Here, Levi,
fine.
let me help you with that kerosene. Let's dump it around.
Yeah, let's make sure everything is gone.
Pour it
Well,
into
there
the front of
You know,
the.
there are extremely valuable antiquities here.
No.
We moved
the
them out.
parasite. The parasite.
Parasite.
Yes, it needs to burn.
You've lost your memory.
Hmm?
You
I do.
can't remember what just happened. Jesus
No,
Christ.
yeah. Odd. Something.
Show him the one in the tin, Dr. Paris.
I wonder if I dropped that as I was running.
You're still holding on to it and go like, oh my God.
No, I probably set it aside. So
Yep.
yeah, well, let's get this thing burnt down first.
Yep.
And you kind of, there's the charred remains of this thing. You can kind of see the remains of a human underneath that, but it's
Yeah.
burning away. It's not moving anymore. But stepping into the workshop, yeah, you can. The floor itself is just dirt now, but you can sort of start dumping kerosene in it and burn the building down.
Yeah, burn the building down.
And
We've just, you know what? We have to all agree that we're just going to tell the police there was a terrible accident. And
I agree.
the maid got burnt and the doctor got injured, but we managed to save the artifacts. And I'll
Sounds
turn this
good to
thing
me.
over to the biology lab and
Yeah.
see if they can identify what the hell it is.
Yeah. If school was this exciting, I wouldn't be here trying to improve my grades on this trip.
We'll give you a extra credit.
I appreciate that, Dr. Paris.
I was looking forward to watching Abelman and Thomas play chess. And the poor professor's under the weather.
Yeah. So about that, we're going to, once the fire's done down and we're sure everything's ash, we're going to bundle into some cars and take him back to Arkham tonight.
so you take the professor, sort of pass through the cabin, carrying him, helping him. He's still unconscious. Pass by that chess set with one less piece, and out to the cars where you can take him to the hospital. And that's sort of where we will end the scenario, with the professor, his life having been saved, and whatever you encountered hopefully being gone. Although there's still that thread in the Miskatonic biology department.
Yeah, why do we do that?
Strumming and just pulsing.
Never
over and
listen to
over
the
again.
biologist. We knew we should have burned that, but we let him take a sample anyway.
But
Well, who knows? We might encounter it in some other place.
because you met Professor Thomas and saved his life, he is very, very thankful, and he will obviously reschedule this, maybe for a dinner in the city or at his home at the university rather than out in a cabin. But Levi, you might actually get that chess game. And Jackson, your homework.
And I get to add this creature to our taxonomy of, so I give it the Latin name Solifilum,
Oh,
the
good.
lonely thread.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And so I'll say Dr. Holton Paris and Timothy, both of you can add 5 Cthulhu mythos for this sort of the bout you had. And sanity rewards, I will just type it in the chat because it's actually a good bit because you saved Dr. not Dr. Paris, sorry, Dr. Thomas, and you killed both the parasite and whatever was in the basement.
Cool. So now tell us,
Mm-hmm.
what was the parasite?
All right.
Where did it come from?
Oh, what's
So-
this? Oh, shoot.
Morgan's drawing. Yeah.
Oh, that
cool.
looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's on also like the weird thing is there's like several pictures of it in the book that are different, but it's kind of on the cover of the book too. But yeah, so the Lonely Thread is a sort of alien being that might not be the right way to put it, but it's entirely unnatural. And what it is it's something from another dimension, and as it pulls on things from another dimension, and those things get pulled through. So Dr. Thomas just had it, and when he started actively experimenting with it, he accidentally started to pull things through, which was this parasite made of them. And the parasite attacked him, latched on, and took over his mind. That's why, he's the parasite is just trying to stall for time because the parasite tried to turn him into one of these beasts, but he's much too old, to kind of sustain it. So it attacked the housekeeper.
Okay.
And it has 3 hours to fully convert the housekeeper into a full one of these. So if you were to encounter it any earlier, it would be much weaker, much more, which you did fine against it, but
It could have been
sort of-
worse too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you left it there, it could have broke free and went out into the woods, and now you have aliens being called in.
Yeah.
But that's more or less of it. I think the only thing that you really missed was the last room upstairs. You checked the 3 of them. There was the study where he had the standard sort of diary that explains everything. But it's a beginner scenario, so it's the ones in this book kind of get a little obvious with like what's going on. Like they make it clear.
It was a good one. It was a good,
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
glad
awesome.
we were all at least mildly compassionate towards
Yeah.
the poor.
Well, it reminds you about how horrible dementia is, actually. I was losing sand looking at his state of mind, going like, this is terrible. It shouldn't happen to him. Oh, it's just a parasite. I feel so much better.
Thank you all for playing. This was very fun.
Thank you for running it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Our players included Troy Lehman, Victor Crower, Morgan Llewellyn, David Gasway, and myself with Sawyer Hill as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page listed in the description, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.